Stacks of notebooks on the table. You guys know what this means. It is time for the May Notebook Challenge. Welcome back to another notebook challenge. If you are new to this whole idea, the notebook challenge originally started a couple of years ago, which is hard to believe that we've been doing this for so long. But it started because I decided to do a video showcasing my notebook collection and realized that I had over 100 unused notebooks in my home. And that was a real eye-opener because I am the kind of person, as I know many of you can relate to, who goes into a Barnes & Noble or a stationery shop or even a drugstore or anything like that. And if I see a really cute notebook, I just want to bring it home. But then once I get it home, I think, oh, well, I'm too precious about it. It's too beautiful. I want to have the perfect use for it. What if I start and then I don't fill it up all the way? What if I don't have a good enough idea or way to use this? And so it goes into my closet or up on a bookshelf and it looks pretty, but it never gets used. And then that cycle just continues to repeat itself. So instead, I decided to not completely stop not buying notebooks, because I am still buying notebooks, but to actually make an effort to use them and get joy out of them, as well as to gift them to other people. So after that notebook challenge, the original notebook video was made, I gave away over 50 notebooks to friends and schools in the local area, teachers, and then I have also been giving away one notebook a month for the last almost 2 years, I think. So this continues, the tradition continues. So we are going to discuss kind of which notebooks I'm currently using and cycling through. And of course, originally I thought that the purpose would be to get the note, to use a notebook and use it all the way through before I started a new one. But as with all things, my idea evolved into, you know what, I'm not always going to be the kind of person who has time to stick to one single notebook. I really like to have things segmented out. So I have my morning routine, my evening routine, my journaling, my budgeting is all in different notebooks and planners. So that works for me. But if you want to just pull one notebook off your shelf, I challenge you to use a notebook for something not superfluous, but something that is just really going to help you to have a better life, something that you could journal in, something you could keep track of family memories, or books you love to read, anything you can think that you might want to track and document in these notebooks, or even just basic journaling or gratitude. I challenge you to pick up one of those notebooks that you've had for a while and start using it. So today, again, for May, we're a little bit late getting started, but I am going to just share with you, this is an Erin Condren monthly planner. I get one of these every year in the 8.5 by 11, the larger size, for my sort of like family budget and projects. So this is like home projects and things like that. It's just a monthly planner, meaning that there are these monthly tabs, and then behind it there are notebook pages, and then at the very end of the planner there are even more notebook pages. So it's kind of a notebook planner hybrid, and it's one of my favorite products on the market because I love being able to have basically a notebook that also has a monthly overview. So this one has been dedicated this year to not only kind of like working through budget, but also to working through projects, because my husband and I are going to be relocating to a new house. We've been building a house. We signed the contract all the way back, I think last September, and it's just taken that long with COVID for it to start being built and everything else. So I will pop in a picture here of the progress, because the outside of the house is done and we're going to be meeting to have a drywall meeting and everything else pretty soon. So I have already gone ahead and set up May as really a list of things that are kind of like home projects and health projects that I want to start thinking about. So one thing that I am sort of dedicating myself to in the month of May is I'm going to use these notebook pages here, as well as this monthly spread, to really start thinking more about my health. I had definitely a bad, you guys, some of you know that I went on a writing retreat and I was going to vlog the whole thing. But on Sunday of that retreat, I got ill, and then that illness led to a full-on panic attack. And so for the last 2 weeks, I have really been struggling. And I've decided, after really going through some therapy and talking to my doctors and everything, that I have to get back to a healthy way of living. So less sugar, less coffee, probably so much less sugar and flour, and getting back into a healthier place for me. So that's going to mean more meal planning, and hopefully I'm taking before photos and starting my weight loss journey again. I've been struggling with this ever since Evie was born almost 2 years ago. So, you know, it's kind of hard to keep sharing like, oh, I'm starting this weight loss journey with you guys and then not actually following through. But you know what? We all do this. It's nothing to be ashamed of. If you have to start and start again and start again and start again, because as long as you continue to try and you don't give up on yourself, it's never the end of your story. So if you're like me and you've been trying to get back to health after COVID, or trying to lose weight after a baby, or wherever you are in your process, even just trying to get your house back to a place where you're not so cluttered, or you have less stuff, or whatever it is that you're trying to work on, even if you've been in a place for the last couple of years where you've tried and failed and tried and failed and tried and failed, just know that you're not alone. You're not the only person. There's nothing wrong with you that you can't get it together, so to speak. Instead, it's just that you have to find your groove. You have to find your space. You have to get your motivation right, and you have to just not give up on yourself. So I'm trying something new. I'm going to be, potentially documenting this in some vlogs on my Sarra Cannon channel. I haven't fully decided, but I have a list here of all the things that I want to focus on. One being my Manifestation Babe Academy that I'm way behind on. Then I want to take some before pictures for my weight loss and health, and I want to get better about my workout plan and my weekly meals and stuff. I want to be drinking more water. I have actually been sticking to this. I want to track my steps. I had gotten one of the Amazon Halo bands and I really liked it, but it doesn't have like a watch face. So now I'm just like always struggling to find a good fitness tracker. So if you have one that you love that is not an Apple Watch, because I don't have an Apple phone, let me know in the comments. But I'm also going to be decluttering all of these places in the house and starting to pack for our move. We probably won't be moving till the end of July, but there's going to be so much to pack and I don't have a lot of free time. So we're going to go ahead and be starting that. I'm also going to be trying to work more on a daily writing routine, because I do tend to be a binge writer where I just write a ton of stuff all at once, but it takes its toll on me with stress. And I think the older I'm getting, or the busier I get overall, the less I'm able to tolerate that, which then kicked me into a flare-up that weekend of the writing retreat. And I think I'm just coming to terms with some limitations of age and just being in a different stage of life. And it is quite a struggle. If you want to hear more about that struggle and everything else, then definitely keep watching this channel. Make sure you're subscribed, because I am going to be doing a vlog that is going to show you the first half of that writing retreat. And then I'm going to show you another like hotel night that I'm going to be doing coming up, and kind of what I've done to manage that stress from the panic attack and from the illness. So I will keep you guys updated on that. But just in the meantime, please be like extra kind when it comes to if I'm not posting exactly regularly. Like the Great Ideas series is kind of on hold right now because that one takes a little bit more mental energy. So we'll continue that a little bit later. So my plans have had to shift and I apologize for that, but hopefully I know you guys are understanding. You guys are the best ever. So in this notebook, in this May section, I already have my budget written out on the dashboard page, but in this section, I am going to be keeping track of all the projects that we're doing. So this is going to be decluttering the closet, the bathroom, the kitchen, the pantry, my son Andrew's room. We're going to be buying him some new furniture and things like that. So I'm going to track all of those fun projects here, as well as any meetings that we have. So we're going to be going through the drywall meeting, also any things that I need to get together, like papers that I need to start gathering for when we get the mortgage and different stuff like that. So that is all going into this planner, which I know I'm not really showing you a lot of it because it's a lot of personal information, but I do have a little bit here. You can kind of see I have a list of all the main projects that I want to do in the house before we move. And I had them on a schedule here, but I did not stick with it 100%. I did do some of this stuff. Some of it is done, but I want to keep working on some of these. And even though some of them will have to move into May, I want to get them done so that we're not taking a bunch of cluttery stuff into the new house. Then I've been doing things like kind of sketching out how I want my office to be, what kind of furniture I might want to get, how I want my desk to be arranged for filming and different stuff like that. So I've been keeping track of some of that in here. I also keep my income and expenses for my business in this planner / notebook. So I thought I would bring that up because this one is one that I don't use consistently, but it's going to get a lot of love over the next couple of months because I am planning everything for the move. So this is going to have lists of all the boxes and all the furniture and where it goes and all our plans, what furniture we need to buy and replace, and things that we're selling, because we'll be selling a few things as we go as well. So that notebook is going to be kind of like our moving planner / notebook. Since I talked about the Manifestation Babe Academy, I wanted to just kind of do a quick update on this notebook. So this is from Cloth and Paper. This is one of the nicest like agenda covers I've ever owned. This quilted black cover. It was pricey, but it is so worth it. It just makes me feel luxurious every time I open it, and it is holding up so well. It's just beautiful. I highly, highly recommend it. I also signed up for the Cloth and Paper monthly subscription in the letter size. So this is the I think it's a medium agenda. I'll link it down below. It's often sold out. So if you see it available and you want it, you need to click buy like right now. But she sends such cute like little dashboards and note flags and different things like that. So I really have been enjoying that as well. I think she has her subscription box comes in many different sizes, but I've been getting the half letter so I can put stuff in here. This little cover that I've had some struggles with keeping on because this notebook is a little bit too full is from the Digital Dash box like years ago. And then these pretty rose gold or pink, I guess they're kind of like blush pink dragonfly discs are from Inked United. So I'll post all of those links below. But I have filled this up with a lot of stuff. If you want to see the full flip through of this, I will link that for you below too. But I've added a few things here and there as we've been going on. And every time we open a new module for the Manifesting Academy, I print out those pages. I just use the booklet feature in my printer to print an 8.5 by 11 like letter size PDF. I just use booklet and it prints it fine, and then I just cut it in half. And there's a lot of journaling and things that go along with this course. So I have been definitely utilizing kind of matching rose gold type washi tapes and doing a lot of the journaling in this planner. I also have been writing letters to myself about what I want from my life. I've been keeping track of my gratitude lists on a daily basis in here. I also have been doing some side journaling and what is called scripting, where you kind of journal about how you want your future to be. This was an expensive class, but has been awesome. And I want to spend a little bit more time over the next month or two kind of getting deeper into it, because the class has far surpassed me. I think I'm on module 5 and they're somewhere like module 9 or 10. So they're almost done and I'm just way behind due to time. So there's all these little worksheets and stuff have been adding to it as I go. And I've just really been enjoying having a planner that kind of has the same color scheme throughout. And if you usually follow my normal like HB90 planners, I'm usually like bright pinks and blues and purples and teals and stuff. And this one have been more like nudes and rose gold type colors, like neutrals. And it's just a really pretty aesthetic, I feel like. So I think it's really pretty. And every time I get the new subscription box, I put whatever dashboards she has included into this planner as well. So I've been enjoying this very much. But I have a feeling, because it is already so full, that I'm going to have to maybe do half the course and then pull the pages out and store them in another set of rings so that I can keep going, because there's going to be there's more handouts here than I think I'm going to fit in. But I've been enjoying this planner, and I have to tell you, like, it just makes me happy. Oops. It just makes me happy every single time I pick it up, and it was worth the price. I think I'm going to have this probably forever. This cute little B6 planner is a TN cover, Traveler's Notebook cover that I got from the Planner Society, and then decorate it with one of the Planner Society kits. I have a bunch of stuff in here that I have not been using, but what I have been using on a pretty semi-regular basis is this actually B6 Stalogy notebook that I also decorated with. This is a clear cover from Lauren Phelps Designs that I put some washi tape and stuff on the Stalogy. But basically, I have not been keeping up with this My Life in Pixels. I only did it for part of January and part of February, so I don't think that's working for me. But I have been drawing some tarot cards. I did it more in the month of April than I did in the month of March. March, I barely touched it, but April I did pretty well. May so far, I've done one day, but that's okay. We're going to try to stick with it. It's hard sometimes to develop new routines, and this is part of my morning routine. And with 2 kids at home, morning routines are much tougher than evening routines, and I'll show you that in a minute. But basically, I keep track of the books that I'm reading. I keep track of my notes on the tarot cards that I've drawn and different things like that. I also am putting some little like tip-ins and stuff in here, kind of like trying my hand out at that type of planning and astrology. So I haven't used much of this notebook. This is probably going to last me a couple of years because it is a pretty thick notebook, and I just have been enjoying it, but just not as consistent as I had wanted to. But I wanted to kind of update you guys on that notebook as a morning routine notebook. I have high hopes for this, and it's so pretty. This stays in my kind of like altar meditation space in my bedroom, but I just haven't been using it as consistently as I wanted. Now my evening routine notebook, this one is a Hobonichi Cousin inside a cover from Salty Katie Co. that I put some extra little stickers, vinyl stickers on. And this notebook I use every day. So my evening routine seems to be much easier because it's sort of paired with my schedule with my kids. So we're very routine from that 5 to 8:30 p.m. time frame. And Evie, of course, is in bed by 7:30, but then I have to, Andrew and I read a book together and other things. So by 8:30 though, I am ready to sit down with my evening planner. And so I tend to do this. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes every night. I light a candle, I say a prayer, I think about anybody that might be needing some extra good vibes from me, like friends who are in trouble, or, you know, just saying prayers of thanks for my community. And that's when I write in my gratitude list. If I have time, that's when I also have been watching the Manifestation Babe Academy videos, but I always draw a tarot card. So you can see here, I actually keep up with this. So this is every night, whereas you saw the one in here was like very sporadic. This is like every single day I draw on it. So I draw the card and mark it here. Every month I pick a different tarot deck. I'm using the Wild Unknown deck right now. And then I also will put in the weekly spreads. I don't really decorate these, but I put kind of what my thoughts are about that particular card. And then in my daily pages, I write, this is the most consistent journaling that I do. So I want to keep another journal, right? I would like to keep this journal. You guys saw that it took me a while to get through my other journal. This first entry was on March 11th, and then I haven't used it since. So I have been out of the practice of doing like morning pages and morning journalings, but I do have this little Michael's notebook here to show you that I haven't done any work in it, but that I hope to get back to the journaling, because the journaling is really helpful for me and my anxiety. But I am doing nightly journaling about my tarot card and about what's going on in my life. So in this one, I've been doing more of my like daily journaling, and I do try to use up some of my like happy planner stickers. I have like one happy planner sticker notebook that will go up there along with a couple of different washi tapes, so you'll see them kind of throughout. And then I just try to use them up. I keep my larger tarot readings in here as well, like any type of rituals that I do and different stuff like that. So I have really been enjoying this. This is the second year that I have kept a consistent nightly routine that is kind of like a spiritual practice for me, and I would really love to be able to do it in the morning. So if you have any tricks for morning routines when you have 2 young children, let me know, because especially one child that stays at home with you, because that has been the biggest challenge. Getting up early has not seemed to work for me, because if I get up early, Evie gets up early. Another notebook that goes with me in that same space in my altar space upstairs is this manifesting notebook. So I just wanted to kind of update you guys on this. This one I have been keeping. This is what I'm trying to use to manifest a TV deal. If you know, this is like one of my big dreams. It's like having my Shadow Demon Saga turned into a TV series. So I just spend time, you know, dedicated to thinking about it and doing different like rituals and things and manifesting and just journaling about how much it would change my life and how much I would love to see it. So this I have been keeping since February 23rd of 2020. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, you may not be able to fill up an entire large notebook, because this is a pretty beefy notebook, in 1 month. But if you start using it and it has a purpose and you use it consistently, you're going to start to see progress. And over time, you know, it will start to play out for you. So it's like I write things like this, like May is the Ace of Pentacles month. So I had a card reading done by Tanya Gonzalez, who is really one of my spiritual teachers, where she read a card for me back in December for every month of 2021. She's done this for me for 3 years. And so May is the Ace of Pentacles, and it's all about success and abundance. And so I'm finishing up this book. I'm getting ready for this house. All these things are happening. So I just told the universe, I am ready for these things. So a lot of that stuff is just go in here. Like, this is what joy means to me. And of course, I still have Evie, you know, writing in these things. I never put anything in here that is negative. Like, that's just one of my rules about this particular notebook. This is like, this journaling here, this one might tend to be like venting or getting my feelings out about something, but this manifesting notebook is just all good vibes, and it just makes me happy to write in it. I don't write in it every day, obviously, but I do touch it a few times a month and write some new things. And you can see I am really getting close to the end of it. So I'm probably about 3/4 of the way through. So maybe, you guys, by the time I finish this last page, that TV deal will come through. We'll see how it goes. I believe in it, and I put all my happiness and joy in this notebook. So just wanted to update you on how that one was going as well. Speaking of the Erin Condren notebooks, Tori, who is my Erin Condren rep, sent me a gift card because I had posted something about Evie writing in all of my stuff to buy Evie her own notebook, which was super sweet. So thank you for that, Tori. So I bought 2 just plain notebooks. This one's just plain sketch notebook. It's just blank paper. And then I got my son one that has graph paper inside. And this is that same notebook that I was just showing you from the manifesting one. You can just kind of see how mine has expanded because I've been putting stickers and things in it. But this is, I think it's called the marquee, or it's called Choose Your Words. And you can choose the words to go on the front with the color. So I put Evie's first notebook on hers, and then Andrew's is green, and it says Andrew's great ideas or Andrew's awesome ideas. And so I have been, whenever I'm writing, Evie likes to draw in my notebooks with me. So I have been giving her this instead with a crayon or a marker, and she has been writing in it like mommy. So she likes to sit with me at the table or on the couch or on the floor. So when I'm doing my planning or anything like that, she will write in this notebook. So it has actually been helping. And someday we'll have a little notebook of all her scribbles, which I think is really fun. Andrew has been doing comic book stuff in his because he's really a fan of things like Dogman and Captain Underpants. So he's been drawing his own stories, and it's been really fun, but I didn't want to share that without his permission. One final Erin Condren product that I know many of you are waiting for a actual like flip through of this. This is my Franken planner that is my time tracker. And this is, again, this is more of a planner than a notebook, but because I Franken planned it, it is kind of I'm using a lot of notebook pages in here as well. So I wanted to just kind of update you on how April went with this. So I kept track of all my projects that I wanted to do, like a list of all the projects I wanted to get done. Then I had a sample schedule for the month and how many time blocks I wanted to work. So I planned to work 300 task blocks or time blocks. I haven't fully decided what I'm going to call them yet, but it's basically Pomodoros. How many Pomodoros do I want to do? And each one is 25 minutes, and I was trying to do 300. So that would be 150 hours over the course of the month of April. And because I was trying to do those 300, I marked out 300 here on this page. And then I have a time color-coded time tracker with some stickers, and every time a half an hour would go by, I would log what I had done. And I didn't track it here originally. I track it on the daily pages in this Daily Duo planner. So I have an academic weekly planner in here. I have just some notes pages, and I have the Daily Duo daily pages. And this has been so good. Now, I also have daily pages in my HB90 planner. If you are not somebody who likes to use multiple planners, you know, you don't have to use multiple. You could do all of this just in any planner all together. But I'm doing this just because this is something very specific. This time tracker has a very specific purpose. And again, I will do a video on a full flip through of this because I feel like I finally got the hang of it. When I do a full run through of this whole system, I'll kind of update you on all of this, but you can see I had planned 300 and I actually worked 281 for sure that I know about, but because of all the things that happened with the illness and the panic attack and anxiety issues, I didn't finish tracking, but I stuck with it better than I ever have before. It's not perfection, but it definitely was progress, and I got a clear snapshot of where I was spending my time. So if you're looking forward to a full video on this system, just keep watching. Make sure you're subscribed because I am going to have a video probably towards the end of May or early June, probably early June, talking about this system. Okay, just a few more notebooks. So I showed this in my, I think, 2021 planner lineup. This is a Mossery notebook with just a plain, one of their plastic covers on it. And it says Sarra, that you can customize it, and it has a little dragonfly on it. And this is something that is refillable. So it's got a notebook in it that is a mixed media notebook, and it's just plain mixed media pages. I also have another insert for this cover that is watercolor paper. And this has been intended to be my main like art journal notebook. Now I have been doing some art journaling in just a plain like Carpe Diem mixed media notebook that I've been getting with my Let's Make Art subscription box. But I have not actually, this is one of those examples, you guys, of I bought this pretty dragonfly notebook. It has this specific paper in it, and I keep thinking, oh, I don't want to mess it up, right? I don't even know what to put on the first page because I'm scared I'm going to mess it up. And I keep looking at it, and I've been looking at it for 5 months now thinking, okay, just start getting something on the page. So I am making a promise that by the time you guys see this in the June update, there will be a couple of pages done that are art journal pages, because I think that painting, and my therapist also agreed with this, that doing some stuff that's like art and gaming more, that is not work related or related to, me having to show to other people. Now I probably will still share it with you guys, but it's not for you, it's for me. And I think I need some more of those types of things in my life. So this Mossery journal, I'm making a commitment right now, will be started with an official art journal by the June Notebook Challenge. Okay, so we also have my list notebook. Now, I shared this in a video recently, so I will link that for you down below. I don't really have any updates to this notebook that weren't in that video that was specifically about it, but I just wanted to mention it here for anybody who had not watched it. But basically, the idea is that you make lists of your favorite things, and I am taking it a step further, and I'm also keeping track of anything that we watch. So when I first did that video before, I had said No Game, No Life was something that we wanted to watch together, George and I, and we finished all 12 episodes of it. So I want to do a write-up and maybe add some collages and some other pictures of what I thought of it. But I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of like fan service sort of harem stuff that goes on in that, but I really liked the characters and the way the game played out. So that was kind of fun. We also have been watching Avatar, so I need to update this because we are all the way to episode 17. I have seen this before, but we're introducing it to our son, so I need to update this to 17, and then we'll be on to book 2 pretty soon. We try to watch at least one every single night. I'm also on episode 8 of Dexter, so we're getting there. We're getting there. I just need to update this every single time. I need to add it. The way that I did my time tracking planner is that I started updating the time tracking every morning at breakfast as part of my like morning routine. As soon as George would leave to take Andrew to school, I would update my time tracker. So I need to add this into my evening routine of like, did we watch a show? Yes. But I think that it is going to be so much fun to fill this entire notebook. And this is a really good example, again, of a notebook, you guys, that I had in my home for 14 years. I am not even kidding. 14 years of having a notebook, but it was so big, I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. Had somebody asked me, why did I choose this type of notebook for my lists rather than a happy planner? But the truth is, the happy planner, the pages can come out, which is a bonus for a lot of types of notebooks. For this type of notebook, though, I want a notebook that is bound together, that everything will stay in one place, that I don't have to worry about pages getting messed up or ripped out or anything like that. So that is my list notebook, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I have seen many of you sharing yours on Instagram, so please continue to do so if you're making one. It is at Heart Breathings now. Instead of Heart Breathings blog, I changed my Instagram name, so come find me there. Another notebook or repository for notebooks for me, and this does not count for my paper notebooks, is my iPad. So I recently added a new cover to it, I had a matching one for my pencil, but I have started a new notebook that is kind of going hand in hand with my Manifestation Babe course, and I'm just calling it Manifesting Babe, and I'm also kind of calling it my 6 months project. Now, I'm not going to reveal too much about this because it's a personal project. I probably won't share too much on this channel, but I'm going to share the vlogs, I think, on my fan channel, which is Sarra Cannon. And it's basically just an idea that I saw this quote that you could change, anybody is just a series of choices away from changing their lives. My life, honestly, is pretty fantastic as it is. I'm seeing success. I'm happy with what I do. I love my job. I love my family. We're moving into the house of my dreams. But like I said, I'm still having these anxiety attacks. I'm still having some PTSD type stuff. I'm still in therapy. We're all a work in progress. None of us are perfect. And the more success I see, the busier I get. And then the busier I get, the less time I have for self-care. And it's a constant balance, and sometimes it can be difficult to even admit that to people, because there will be people inevitably in the comments here who will say things like, I knew you were working too hard. You need to calm down, whatever, which then makes me feel like, I wish I could tell them that I know what I'm doing, but it makes me want to defend myself, I guess. But I do know that you guys are just saying it because you care. But it's that feeling of like not wanting to be criticized, so you don't want to show your flaws. But I can't really do this channel without showing my flaws, because I am a flawed human just like all of us. And I really feel like, for me, it's a constant balance of how do I continue to grow my career, both of my careers, while also still being 100% the best mom I can be, while also being healthy and making sure that I manage my anxiety. Because I have been through a lot of trauma in my life, and I still, sometimes even 20 years later, have to, face some of those anxieties that still pop up. It's just a reality of life. So I was thinking about starting a project called the 6 Months Project. That's just kind of a tentative name for it. But basically the philosophy behind it, I've been kind of outlining it here in this notebook. And I love this app. So if you have an iPad, this app is basically this app is called Goodnotes. It's the most recent version of Goodnotes. And what I love about it is you can buy on Etsy different digital stickers and washi tapes, and you can copy and paste them into your document, as well as photos. So like I can take this picture of me and George, and I can crop it and edit it and put it into this little notebook. And this is so much fun for me. And I've been enjoying putting together notebooks like this with my plans for how I'm going to kind of get my life back together. And because it seems like sometimes whenever one thing starts going really well, obviously something gets less attention. So it's like, my career and income is going up, so therefore I'm getting less time for self-care. And so I'm just going to try to continue to bring that back into balance. And that's what this 6-month project is all about, is getting my health back in order to reduce my anxiety, but continuing to grow my career along the way, but just finding that healthy balance for myself. So I have outlined my plan to get fit, what I'm going to eat, how I plan to, look at these cute little stickers, you guys. These are so cute. I will link them down below, but they come from this, I just have EGD because I'm not sure where it came from. Let's see. Issa Gray Designs. So they're so stinking cute. I love them so much. There's a ton of like icons with coffee cups and different things like that. My iPad is just going super slow right now, so I'm gonna have to like reset it or something. I'm not sure why it's so slow to load those. But you can use all those images in your notebook, which I love. So this is like how I wanna feel. This is what I can see, my intentions. This is the philosophy behind changing, dedicating 6 months to moving into a new house and managing my anxiety and kind of changing my life and stepping into the person I want to be, which I know sounds a little bit cheesy, but it's the way I feel. I also grabbed a bunch of images from Pinterest here that are kind of like motivational ones, like inspiration, so that when I'm thinking about these things, I can really pull from these quotes and this inspiration, like create a life you can't wait to wake up for. Then I've got kind of a comparison between where I am and where I was when I was thin and how I felt. And then I've got my full meal plan out here. And like, again, look at how cute these are. So I have my meal plan along with the calories that I will eat during that time. And then I also have a full vision board. But that is called Goodnotes. And if you have an iPad, I highly recommend using it for notebooks, because you can draw images into it and use those like digital washi tapes and stuff, and it makes it really fun. The final notebook, I know this is a long one today, is my gaming notebook, because as part of my plan to kind of rebalance my life into a place of less anxiety, more fun time, my husband and I have decided to go back to playing EverQuest 2, because there is a new server launching. It is called Terranax, and it launches on Tuesday next week. And I'm hoping, I've already pulled out my 3 character names that are my like #1 names that I use all the time. Here's a screenshot of one of my old characters named Fiala that I loved. I don't know if I'm going to play a dark elf or if I'm going to play on the Kinos good side this time, but it's a PvP server, meaning player versus player, which is how George and I met originally, was on an EverQuest server called Vox, where I played a Fury and then a Ranger, and he played mostly a Templar / healer. And we just had so much fun back then. And of course, we're not going to have the same amount of time to play because we didn't have kids back then, and I didn't really have a writing career back then, but we're going to try and we're going to play it. So I have my 3 names, the 3 characters that I most want to make, and what class I want to play. And I need to decide which one I want to play as my main character. I'm kind of leaning toward playing a troubadour. But I have gone through while we were watching Dexter at night and just created these little kind of like roadmaps to the levels. So the max level in this server is going to be 70. So every time I hit a new, I'll just keep this on my desk as I'm playing. And every time I hit a new level, I can color it in just for fun. It's just a visual kind of thing. So I have it for all 3 of my characters. I have some extra pages in here too. So I have it for all 3 of those characters. And then I also have a harvesting guide, and I put T8, even though I don't think T8 is going to be in the game at the beginning of the game. But this is basically also like you've got foresting, you've got fishing, gathering, mining, and trapping. And so I wrote which zones you can find those things in for tier 1 and tier 2 and so on, because I love to craft. It's one of my favorite things. Like the PvP and the playing is fun too, but I just love the crafting in this game. It's one of the most fun like crafting systems I've ever known. Also, I keep track of the lore and legends that I want to go do, and then I have my crafting leveling charts as well. So I want to make a sage, an alchemist, and a jeweler. And so I'm going to put those out there. I also printed out some other things about the crafting gear that you can get, and some of the heritage quests and different stuff like that. So I am, the rest of this notebook is like my old characters that I've had for a while, but I have set it all up while we've been watching TV at night with this fun kind of plan for how I'm going to have fun gaming. And I also, in the new Erin Condren launch, I was like, okay, I just really want to have a Just My Type vertical. So I'm going to also be tracking, not the levels, but I'm going to be tracking kind of what we did and sort of memory keeping the gaming times starting in July, obviously, because the new planner won't start till July in that new vertical planner. So that will sit with this gaming planner up there as well. So that is all the notebooks. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's talk about the book of the month, the diverse read of the month, and then I'm also going to show you what notebook I am giving away. Okay, I have a choice of 2 notebooks this time. So I have multiples of this, and this is another thing that I do sometimes when I love something. I'm like, oh, let me get a bunch of them, and then I don't actually have use for so many of them. So this one is still in the plastic. This is a limited edition Moleskine Hello Kitty notebook, and it is just a ruled notebook, lined notebook. It has 240 pages of acid-free paper, and I think it does come with some bookmarks inside. So this is a really nice notebook, and I don't think it's even available anymore. So this is one choice, is the Hello Kitty Moleskine. Another choice would be this, monthly planner. I got this in a surprise box, or like a, I think it was like the surprise box for Archer and Olive, and somebody claimed the other thing, so I'm going to give away this daily agenda. So it's a 12-month undated daily agenda notebook, and it's basically like a bullet journal. It has the index, but everything is already drawn out for you. So it has the monthly, you just have to draw in the dates, and then it has the weekly plans to it. And this is on the famous like 160 GSM paper, and then at the end you do have just a couple, like a handful of extra pages there at the end, but this will carry you through a full year. So there's a pocket back here as well, and it's this beautiful blue floral design, and it comes in a really nice box. So your choice, winner's choice, Archer and Olive or the Moleskine Hello Kitty. This is open internationally, and I will keep it open until Wednesday of next week, so I'll have all the details for you in the description box below. The book that I wanted to feature this month is called Awakened by Moni Boyce. If you don't follow her on Instagram, I will post her Instagram link and her website link for you down below, but she has a lot of posts. Like if you've been wanting to read and support more Black romance authors in particular, she always has a ton of lists tagging some amazing Black authors who write mostly romance. So I would highly recommend following her over on Instagram as well. But her book, Awakened, I have just picked up from the Kindle store. It was free, and it's book 1 of the Oracle Chronicles. So I'm going to go to the About This book and read for you what this says. process. Secret, Lineage, a ruthless vampire, can't resist the vampires, and forbidden love. Willow Stevens' dreams of stardom are eclipsed by the real nightmares of a sinister man haunting her dreams. Unbeknownst to her, Eli Walker, her hot but snobbish co-worker, may know the reason nightmares plague her, but their history shows he is more prone to reject her than help her. Then Willow passes out at work only to wake up in Eli's apartment. There, she has her chance to learn more about her heritage, but knowing why the Vampire King stalks her doesn't make the nightmares disappear. So then it says, can Eli keep Willow alive and safe from the vampires long enough for her to grow her own powers, or will both cast aside rules for a reckless passion that will only lead to danger? And she does leave a warning here that says this book is part of a series and ends in a cliffhanger, which, if you know me, I love cliffhangers, so I am all about it. So if you want to check out this book, I will leave a link for it down below. And yeah, go pick up Moni's books and support her, as well as other Black authors and Asian authors and diverse writers in our community. So that wraps up our awesome notebook challenge for the month of May. I know this was a particularly long one, but it felt so good to just sit down and film after really a rough couple of weeks. I know I have not been as available on Instagram and things like that, and I don't want to bring any negative energy into this space because it is all positive and all awesome, but you know, we all are human and we have to kind of adjust and keep balancing ourselves out. So I am on the path to recovery. I did push my book back to June 1st, but I will be doing kind of a split vlog to hopefully share that first footage of the writer's retreat. And then I obviously didn't get to finish it there, but then how I'm finishing the book in my edits coming up towards the end of the month. So hopefully you will look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button before you sign out, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.